Welcome to the Aswell video store. Today we are going to review Space Wars 2000 from 1985, an unauthorized Ultraman movie for its 35th anniversary. Well, I explained about the release date because unfortunately the only information I could actually get about the release date and the air date is just the year 1985. Not the month or the day at all. Like there's every single source I look through, there is no month or day. But I'll explain that later in the video. So let's go on with the story. The story is about a kid whose father came back, who gives him a Ultraman toy, or that later on comes to life and takes the kid in order to be a space warrior in order to fight a whole bunch of monsters while also learning to choose good over evil. That's literally the basic plot of this movie. You can literally describe it in that small amount of sentences. This movie is terrible. 90% of it is just stolen footage from Hanuman vs. the Seven Ultraman from 1974 and also Ultraman Zophie from 1984. But the footage that is actually original, that isn't stolen, the actors do not give a well performance at all. Also, the footage they took, they did dub over several things, like they actually dub over Ultraman in order to give the voice and also the monsters to give a voice. But the actors actually sound good, but the dialogue they were giving, yeah, it's terrible. Oh, so yeah, that's the problem. I believe they use a pan scan and job in order to take the footage. It's because having shots and having footage that was in 16:9 or widescreen. For example, Hanuman vs. the Seven Ultraman was in widescreen. Then changing it to 4.3 aspect ratio is a strange jump. But the pan scanner job is not that good, as in like some shots where they had slightly in the sides, or slightly they have in the other side, not like directly in the middle. Also, there's a few shots I could describe of the monsters having their heads like for example, here's the part that you're unable to see, and here's the part you could see on top of your television screen. That the monster will like go like this, like you're unable to see them. So yeah, that's one thing. And also I did like how they're blend in all the footage in order to look like if it was they actually film all the footage, but there are some out of place shots in the film that do question why you're even there in the first place. For example, there is this scene in the movie where basically a monster is literally in a market and all the people are staring at him. What purpose is that? What is the purpose of that? Literally, you could cut that out and it has literally zero effect in this movie. It's just there for no reason. Like the monster doesn't come because of course the stolen footage, the monster doesn't come, because mainly the third act is using footage from Hanuman vs. Seven Ultraman. So yeah. But also, if the message of the film was choose good over evil, is quite forced, as in it's not really choking you, but it's still tempting to go through your neck. So I'll give this film 2.9 out of 5 stars. Unfortunately, I do not own a physical copy of this movie. Only bootlegs exist because there is not and least likely ever be a official release of the film on any format, since it was released on television, and because it was distributed by Cinema Shares, but it only had a few TV airings before it was pulled when the company who Ultraman filed a lawsuit against the company who produced Space Wars 2000, which is also the same company who produced Hanuman vs. Seven Ultraman. Yep. But also, let me talk about the release date. So when researching in order to do the film, in order to do the review, I tried to find a release date before I decided to choose this one when the video will most likely be uploaded. So I could actually figure out if I should do it in the beginning of 2020 or it actually has a release date. Unfortunately, the only information I could get of any single source that I looked through is the year 1985. Nowhere else. Not even the partial trailer gives an air date. Only Cinema Shares ad we actually have doesn't even give an air date at it as well, or any source that will give an air date for this movie. yes, there is an ad for this film, but it's not really. Yeah, it is an ad, but doesn't give the release date of the film, like the air date. So yeah, that is the problem with that. Uh, so I chose, of course, January, or yeah, maybe January, is because the film is entitled Space Warriors 2000, and during the partial trailers they say Space Warriors in 1999. So I thought to my head, well, Y2K happened in the year 2000, so what if I review this around early January in order to fit the theme of 2000? Because of course 20 years after Y2K. So yeah, that's basically my excuse why I even review this movie on early January. I presume it will be the release date if anything goes in downhill or a fail. But in any case, okay, so overall, it's a terrible movie. If you actually do want to see it, there is a video on the full movies on YouTube that you are able to see. But there is also a remastered version made by someone on YouTube where he basically uses like seven, well, according to my phone it's like 720p, but most likely it could be higher for or any however you watch videos on YouTube like on your computer such and such. But in case, hey, so basically it combined like the footage. It's like actually has good quality footage instead of like poor VHS quality. No, good quality footage because of course, whereas the footage they saw was not filmed on, was not intended for television. It was intended for theaters. I believe. I'm not sure about Ultraman Zophie. I have to check in my information about that. So yeah, quite interesting. But they do crop out the original footage that wasn't stolen. They do crop it out because it was 4.3 instead of 16 by 9. So they do that, but it's perfectly fine. And at least we get a better version to watch. So yeah, that's one thing. And so that's all the review. Have a nice day. Later on, come back to our video store.